Hi everybody, thanks for joining me again. If you like what I'm doing here, give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already done so. It really does help the channel out. Anyway, today I'm wearing my leather gloves and I'm headed toward the front of the house because Diane just finished pruning all her roses. I'm going to go ahead and load them into my trusty wagon and take them back to the burn pile. You can see there really isn't that much to do here, just a few piles, maybe 2 trips, maybe 3. I don't like compacting this stuff because even with the gloves I still get spiked a lot. That's what I mean by compacting it, trying to push it down in here a little bit. But leather gloves are working out. Be right back. I like to keep all the roses in a separate pile from everything else. Otherwise, I'll be wearing my thinner gloves when I'm doing the work here, and I'll slash myself without even realizing what I'm picking up. When I have the burn pile going, I'll just use a pitchfork to fling those on there. That big pile over there is all the trees I just trimmed in the back of the pasture. This pile here, that was the tree that was overhanging the greenhouse and the grapevines I trimmed back. That is from the oak tree that was shading the garden. All that there came from clearing a spot for the camper. This stuff here is, I think, just miscellaneous from a little of everything. And I don't know if you can see it through the tree, but right there is a pile of rose clippings I just put there. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to burn a little sooner than March. Well, it's late Sunday afternoon. I probably only have an hour and a half or so at the most until dark, but it rained all day yesterday and really all day today until maybe an hour or so ago. Right now the sun's coming up and it's just beautiful. So I'm going to head out to the garden again because I got a little more cleanup I want to do out there. Well, you can see all those corral panels are gone from the red barn there. Somebody bought them and they came and picked them up. I think it was last Thursday. It's just nice to have those gone. Anyway, what I did out here in the garden is I had a big grapevine that just hadn't been cared for much at all in quite a while. Now it's growing right over here along the fence, and it was such a tangled mess, and it was growing over the fence. I was afraid it was going to tear the fence down. So while I meant to just do some pruning on it, once I got going, I ended up cutting off every small shoot and piece and limb and everything that was on there. So let me know in the comments if I've destroyed it or if I have a pretty good chance of it coming back this spring again. Anyway, this is where it comes up out of the ground, and it goes this way. I got 2 big runners headed that way. One of them about halfway along, one of them goes all the way to the end. I'll show you that in a minute. And I got a couple of them that come over this way. Now I used to have a couple of 2x4s going across here that it was resting on, and it got so heavy it snapped them. But what I'm going to have to do now is back here, I'll put in a couple more posts like I have over there, and then I'll get a couple of 2x4s across here, and then I'll get these two big chunks here growing in this direction. And then over there, I'll go over here. Now these 2x4s on here are still intact, and I'm trying not to fall in the creek here. And I think it's because this just hadn't grown up as much as that part over there, because of course it started from there and it just never got heavy enough to break them. So I think I rescued it just in time. But anyway, I do have a lot of work to do on the trellis, but that's not for now. I have a little more clearing and brush cleanup I want to do out there in the pasture first. But today, I got all of this stuff stacked right over there. And there's a pile of it. Now I know when I was dragging them out of there, some of them are pretty long, so I'm probably going to cut them up a bit with the pruning shears, make it a little easier to get over that fence. This fence is a little lower than that one, and I got that slope going up to that one. But in the meantime, look how much better it looks at the greenhouse there. I know, it still looks a little abandoned because of panels on the roof and holes in the wall and everything, but it looks so much better without that tree coming over looking like it was trying to grab it. But now, in my fading daylight, hoping to get all this stuff over the fence. It really shouldn't take that long. It's just not that big a job. Well, that wasn't bad at all. You can see the whole pile has gone from here in maybe 15 minutes or so over to there. Right over here, kind of on top of the greenhouse tree. And of course, that was the shading the garden tree. Anyway, the next thing I want to do, and I won't get to it today, and I want to go over here toward the back of the pasture, and there's some trimming stuff I need to get done. So I'm back over here, past Buck the fake deer and our fake little well house. I got that tree there that snapped off in one of our recent storms, and I got this big willow here. I'm going to have to get that out because another snowstorm, and it's going to crush the fence there and cause me that many more repairs. And over on this side here, now this is a dead branch. It's got to come down. And this oak tree here, it's kind of similar to the one that was over the garden tree. Really hard to tell, but it's just growing the wrong direction there. So since I have this over here, which is a beautiful maple tree, it's kind of small still, and the oak tree starting to interfere with it some. So I'm going to cut that oak way back. I don't think I'm going to take it out. I just do want to trim it way back, see if I can get it growing the other direction. And that's a big chunk that fell over the fence. I think that's from the neighbor's tree. That seems like an awful lot for tomorrow afternoon, but I'll see if I can get that done. It's usually not nearly as bad as it looks. Come here. Hey, bud. Hey, little guy. Come here. Oh, who's a good boy? She's a good boy. Who's a good boy, huh? Good. Somebody's using a leaf blower over there somewhere, not too far away, so it's going to be a little noisy. So in this case, I'll just try to do more cutting than talking, and you might like that better anyway. That's pretty much it for this area here. I'm just going to leave the branches where they lay, do all the trimming I can today, because once it's on the ground I'll be okay. Even when it's raining, I'll be able to kind of duck out between rainstorms and slowly haul the pieces over to the other side. Well, I got this little group of trees right here. That was done kind of quick and easy, like it was easier than I thought, and that was really my main focus for coming out here, because everything was hanging so low to the ground and interfering with this nice little maple tree here. But then I started looking around, and everywhere I looked, when I looked closer, I saw dead branches, branches hanging way too low to get the mower underneath comfortably. So I just started cutting and cutting and cutting. And I think I'm done at least with this part now. But look around there. All you see are piles and piles and piles and piles of branches. These are all gonna have to be hauled over the burn pile. So now I think I've done as much as I can, or at least as much as I want to for this year in this area here. And it really does look pretty good. A lot of stuff needs to be dragged off. But I do have some daylight left. So I think I'm gonna go over to that side of the pasture there, and I'll cut down that one willow tree that's leaning way down on top of the fence. And hopefully I'll get that done today too. That's gonna be pushing me to the end of the day, but I wanna do it. I'll go ahead and start over here by taking that broken part off the top of this tree. Then I'll move over to there and see how much of that willow I can get off the fence. The chain popped off. Easy enough to fix. All right, see how easy that was? All right, now I'll get over here and see if I can get that willow off the fence. Looks pretty good. Looks like I got it all off the fence. That one there is just laying on the fence. So I can shove it off, the one I cut from the top of the pear tree. And all this stuff is leaning against it. So it's ready to head to the burn pile. And I do have time left, so I guess I have no choice but to start dragging those branches over and tossing them across the fence. Well, I was wrong. I'm not really done here. Looking along the fence there a little further, I see a lot of branches coming over the fence, so I might as well cut those out when I'm here because they will be a problem sometime in the future. And at least that'll make it late enough I don't have to start dragging branches over. I wasn't paying enough attention, and I just cut through my cord. I think I have enough to pull some more up here and finish up those last few pieces. All right, I'm back. Like I still have enough light to finish up here, assuming I don't cut another cord. I managed to make the last couple of cuts without cutting another extension cord, and it's getting late, so I think I'm gonna wrap up all my stuff and just call it a day. The rain in the forecast for today seems to be holding off a bit, so I'm gonna go out in the pasture once again and see if I can drag some of those branches that I cut yesterday across and throw them over the fence. Now some of these limbs are gonna be a little too big to drag over there without cutting them up more, so I'll do what I can. And if I have time before the rain starts, I'll get the chainsaw out here, cut the bigger ones down into small enough pieces to carry out there. But I got my work cut out for me, that's for sure. I don't know if you can hear the rain on the roof. It slowed down a little bit. It was coming down pretty hard a few minutes ago, so it kind of drove me indoors. I figured that while I'm in here, I'm gonna go ahead and get my big gas chainsaw sharpened up. It's not really too dull, but I just want to touch it up a little bit because it just makes it that much easier to use. I do have some big limbs out there that I'm going to have to cut before I can toss them over the fence. And I want to use the gas chainsaw for that because in order to use the electric, I have to roll out all the cards, and that's a lot of trouble for relatively few cuts. And it's just so much easier to take this up. It's really portable out there. Now I'm sure you notice that I always seem to be coming out in the afternoon. And that's because I always come out in the afternoon. I guess I'm pretty much a routine person, because I generally get up around 6:30 or so. I take Cash outside to go pee. In case you don't know, Cash is our Hungarian Vizsla. That's a little dog. It looks kind of like a small red Weimaraner.
I'm glad to see you.
Anyway, I take him out, and I have some coffee while I look at the internet and catch up on a little news. And I work out every morning, well, most mornings, for just less than an hour or so. I do some push-ups, sit-ups, stretching, and a little bit of free weights. And I have my breakfast and more coffee. Yeah, I usually work on editing videos a bit every morning. I like to work on them a little bit every day. And then if the weather's nice, I'll sometimes go for a bicycle ride, or I'll take Cash for a walk, or I'll do the myriad of other things that need to be done. Then after lunch, I usually come outside and just start doing whatever is the necessary project or job outside. Anyway, looks like I have more rain coming tomorrow, and after that a few dry days. So I'm hoping one more dry day, I should be able to come out in the afternoon and finish up the rest of those branches. Oh yeah, there's the rain now. I'm sure you can really hear it. So I got both chainsaws ready to go, nice and sharp. The next thing I'll do is repair the cord that I cut through yesterday when I was working out in the pasture. I didn't cut all the way through it, but I did enough damage, and it's close enough to the end here. I think the best and safest way to repair it is to just cut that whole part off and just wire a new cord end on it. I just happen to have one on the shelf anyway. Not that I cut through cords all the time, I just like having spare parts handy. I do cut through cords occasionally. Now, I think it's about time to call it a day, so I'm going to head on in the house, and in a couple days, I'll be able to get out there and finish out that pasture. Well, look at this, the sun's coming out. I thought it was going to rain all day today, but the clouds are parting a little bit, it's drying up, the sun's coming out, so I'm hoping I can finish up out there today. But before I do that, I want to put some more suet out for the birds. I'm not even exactly sure what this is. It's got some kind of fat and seeds and all kinds of good stuff in it for the birds. It comes in these little squares. I feed him seeds over here. Hi, Angus. This is Angus. He's another friend, his dog, who's staying with us. I made the little picnic table. I'll talk about that in another video. And we just kind of lay the seeds out here on this piece of wood. I'm going to go ahead and put this in here. Kind of hangs around a little hook. That way the squirrels and the raccoons can't get it. It's just for the birds. Yeah. Into the cage. Hang the cage back on the tree. All right, birds are happy for now. Now I'll head on out to the pasture. Stopping for a quick snack, having an apple. It's already 3 o'clock, and I still got a bunch left to do here. I got a couple piles back there, and then one more small pile, just really a couple of big branches I got to cut smaller over there. But it's getting late fast. I'm not sure I'll finish today. Of course, it was 2 o'clock before I really got started. But even if I don't finish today, tomorrow's supposed to be dry, so whatever I don't get done today, I can certainly get done tomorrow. Finally, some good visible progress. This area back here, that's where I had the really big piles. There's still plenty more to do, but at least it doesn't look as hopeless anymore. I'm gonna make it. I have just enough light left to chop up these 2 branches here. They're the last 2. Get them small enough so I can toss them over the fence, and I'll be done. Hear that? A couple of geese flying over. Yes, that is it. It was nice to finish today, even though I didn't really have to. Tomorrow's going to be dry, and I certainly could have finished it up tomorrow. But it was a challenge that I wanted to meet, and I did. And then with the last A little bit of orange glow in the sky. I'll say thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.